We are going to count down the top 10 hottest games as of May 2019, which includes several new games and an out-and-out battle for the #1 spot. But before we begin, I actually just want to give a quick shout out to the gentleman at Costco who said hi because he recognized me from these videos. So thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Now, let's start the countdown. Hey there, I'm Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise and BoardGameGeek, and welcome to this month's Top 10 Hottest Games, which is based on the titles that are generating the most traffic and discussion on the BoardGameGeek website over the past 30 days. These games are tracked on the site's hottest games list, and the higher and longer a game remains on the list throughout the course of the month, the higher it ranks on our top 10 overall. 154 different games appeared on the list over the past 30 days, and 4 of these made their way on the top 10 for the very first time, including the game that comes in at number 10. Breaking a record by climbing 102 spots to reach number 10 this month is Star Wars Outer Rim, a game of bounty hunters, mercenaries, and smugglers for 1 to 4 players by Fantasy Flight Games. In Outer Rim, players take on the role of an underworld denizens setting out to make their mark on the galaxy. They'll travel the Outer Rim, hire legendary Star Wars characters to join their crew, and try to become the most famous, or infamous, outlaw in the galaxy. But not so fast, you double-crossing no-good swindler, because other scoundrels are out there looking to bring you down in order to bolster their own reputations. Now, if you're interested in Outer Rim, well, go Kessel run down to the store and get it when it arrives this summer. Making its debut not only in the top 10, but on the entire hotness list this month is Escape Plan by designer Vital Lacerda. In Escape Plan, players are thieves, and the action takes place immediately after a successful bank heist. When the game starts, most of the cash has been hidden away, and the rest of it invested in businesses throughout the city. So you're on easy street, except that you're not, you double-crossing no-good swindler, because after police make a breakthrough in their investigation, accusations are made, fingers are pointed, all leading to each of the fugitives deciding to go their separate ways. All you gotta do now is get your money, get out without getting caught. As a tactical game with no direct conflict, Escape Plan contains asymmetric roles set by missions that players may achieve during the game while avoiding the police. In the end, only the player who escapes, and the one who does so with the most cash, is gonna win. Dropping down 3 spots to end the month at number 8 is Spirit Island from Greater Than Games. Spirit Island is a cooperative game in which players command an island of different elemental spirits as they defend their land from colonizing invaders with supernatural abilities. Every turn, players simultaneously choose which of their power cards to play, paying energy to do so. Using combinations of power cards that match a spirit's elemental affinities can grant a free bonus effect as well, so got that going for you, spirits. Faster powers take effect immediately before the invaders spread and ravage, but other magics are slower, requiring forethought and planning to use effectively. The game includes different adversaries to fight against, and each changes the gameplay in different ways. Spirit Island's various paths to difficulty keep the game challenging and is definitely one of the reasons why the game continues to appear on our countdown each month. Swooping down out of nowhere like some sort of winged vigilante to join the countdown at number 7 this month is Batman Gotham City Chronicles, published by Monolith. In Batman Gotham City Chronicles, one villain faces off against a team of heroes in multiple scenarios. The gameplay is based on Monolith's previous title, Conan, with revisions to character abilities, the addition of 2 different types of dice for 5 total different dice types, and a modified 2-player versus mode in which each player has a command board and their own team of tiles that they can draft. Monolith started shipping Batman Gotham City Chronicles to its Kickstarter backers earlier this month, with plans already in development to kickstart a second wave of the game with some new content later this year. Rising 7 spots to end the month at number 6 is another game designed by Vital Lacerda, On Mars. When a game of On Mars begins, players will be dependent on supplies from Earth, but as their Martian colony expands over time, they'll shift their priorities to constructing mines, power generators, water extractors, greenhouses, oxygen factories, and shelters. The ultimate goal of the game is to develop a self-sustaining Martian colony that's independent of any extraterrestrial organization. But surviving long enough to do so will require an understanding of the importance of vital necessities like water, air, power, and food. So tell me, do you attempt to take on humankind's biggest challenge to date? Attempting to master 2 different Vital Lacerda games in 1 month? Slipping down 2 spots to end this month at number 5 is Root by Leader Games. In Root, the infamous Marquita cat has foreclosed on unfortunate forest families, fiercely infuriating formerly fractured factions, forming fortified furry forest friends who fight fearlessly to free the forest of feline fascism. An aspect of the game community that's fun to periodically report on is fan-made additional content, and this month we feature a player-made expansion for Root called Predators and Parasites, developed by BoardGameGeek user Griffin Hoffman. The content planned for this add-on includes 4 factions, 2 maps, 2 new Vagabond classes, and 2 new eerie leaders. Now this supplemental content is currently in development and beta testing, and I'll add a link to it in this video's description if you're interested in checking it out and taking it for a test drive. Planting its flag in spot number 4 is Terraforming Mars, published by Stronghold Games. In Terraforming Mars, players run colossal corporations competing to transform the Martian landscape into a new world capable of providing humanity with a new planet on which to post their ambiguous movie spoilers. Terraforming Mars has also had some fantastic player-made content created for it, including a suite of tools designed by BoardGameGeek user Viximo. These tools include an interactive card list, game statistics, a randomizer for picking milestones and awards, a hand randomizer, and more. Again, in this video's description, I'll add a link to an article with more information about these tools for Terraforming Mars if you'd like to try them out as well. Dropping down a spot from last month to end the month at number 3 is Gloom Haven by Cephalofair Games. Gloom Haven is a tactical combat RPG set in a persistent and changing world over the course of a campaign. Throughout each scenario, players will fight against automated monsters using an innovative card system to determine the order of play and what a player does on their turn. Gloom Haven is just cram-packed with a metric ton of game content. But if you are still clamoring for even more, well, the game's long-awaited first expansion, Forgotten Circles, is set to arrive soon. For example, the expansion's US shipment was scheduled to arrive at its distributor around April 26th, and subsequently reach retailers several weeks after that. In this video's description, you'll find a link to an article which lists the estimated arrival dates for Canada, the EU, China, Asia, and Australia, which will hopefully help you know when to expect Forgotten Circles in case you've been waiting for it to arrive so you can cram even more content into that massive Gloomhaven box and probably not even be able to get the lid closed anymore. Dipping down 1 spot to end the month at number 2 is Wingspan by Stonemaier Games. Wingspan is a competitive, medium-weight, card-driven engine-building game in which players are researchers, birdwatchers, ornithologists, and collectors, each seeking to discover and attract the best birds to their network of wildlife preserves. Well, to date, Wingspan has been notoriously difficult to find, with some copies of the game going for several $100s on eBay. Well, not so fast, you double-crossing no-good swindlers, because Stonemaier Games has announced that a 3rd printing of the game is scheduled to arrive in mid-May, which should really help to bring the price of this game of avian adversaries back down to earth. Leaping up 9 spaces to claim the 1 spot is The Lord of the Rings: Journeys in Middle-earth by Fantasy Flight Games. Journeys in Middle-earth is a fully cooperative, app-supported board game for 1 to 5 players. Each individual session of the game is a single adventure in a larger campaign. In it, players will explore the vast and dynamic landscapes of Middle-earth, using their skills to survive the challenges that they encounter on their perilous quests. As the heroes explore the wilderness and battle the dark forces that are rallying against them, the game's companion app guides them to reveal the looming forests, quiet clearings, and ancient halls of Middle-earth, while also controlling the enemies that they encounter. Whether you play the part of a courageous hero or a double-crossing no-good swindler, there is a lot to explore and discover in this adaptation of the Middle-earth mythos. And there you go. There is your list of the top 10 most popular board games as of May 2019. For more board game countdowns, news, previews, and playthroughs, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the videos that are posted on this channel. I don't know what that meant, but what I do know is that I have been Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise and BoardGameGeek, and take care. Gloom Haven is cram-packed with a metric ton of game content, but if you're still clamoring for even more, well, the game's long awaited. It's always been, we know right where it is. It's not lost, but it is long awaited. Seamless.